This is a very common misconception. If a girl's willing to kiss you or make out with you, that does not mean she's gonna be willing to have sex with you or go home with you. So what is the missing ingredient here? Honestly, the missing ingredient is Freakin A, it is Q&A Tuesday. Today, we're gonna go into some of these questions that you guys have been asking me on Instagram, on YouTube, and we're gonna start answering these every Tuesday. So if you ever wanna see one of your questions answered in a future video, drop them in the comments below. Now that said, let's get into the first question. This one comes from my Instagram DMs. How do you view the balance of pursuing women and not letting that be a distraction / take away from your mission and purpose? I like this question because so many guys think about the scenario of, you know, you're texting a girl and this girl doesn't respond, or maybe you shoot for the meetup and you ask her on a date and that's where she becomes a little bit unresponsive, or she always has like a reason why she can't meet up with you on a date. I used to love moments like that because I have goals outside of my dating life that I am constantly working towards. I am obsessed with. And so the first thing that I would say to answer your question here is decide what is it exactly that you are working towards in your life every single day. What goals do you have that have absolutely nothing to do with this specific girl, right? For me, one of my goals was obviously to become so good at game that I could become the dating coach that I am today. And so for me going out and working on my game was part of the process. But that said, it wasn't dependent on any one specific girl responding well to me. Does that make sense, right? So if a girl fell off, I had the abundance mentality to go out and say, all right, this is a perfect opportunity to go back and work on my game even more and put myself out there and try again. That said, I do have other goals outside of my dating life, professional goals, income goals, financial goals. What are those for you? Get really clear on those and make sure that you're actually working on those every single day, because when a girl doesn't respond to you, when a girl falls off, when a girl stops texting you back, now you don't let it affect you and throw you off your path because you're so focused on this other stuff to where when she cancels plans or whatever, you're like, damn, this is amazing. Now I have an extra 3 or 4 hours to go back and work on my goals that I actually care about and not necessarily veer off my path to be going on this date with this random girl where things may or may not work out. So that, my friend, is how you stay on your path, on your purpose as a man while improving your game. Have goals outside of your dating life and then view those opportunities where maybe things in dating don't go your way as the opportunity to spend even more time pursuing your path and your purpose. Next question. Man, I live in Ireland, in a town where it's impossible to make eye contact with a woman. Honestly, they just stare straight ahead and never look around at who's about. What's the solution? How do I make eye contact with a bunch of dummies? First thing I would say is stop referring to all these women who refuse to make eye contact with you as dummies, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't control what all these other women are doing and how they're responding to you. All you can control is what you do leading up to that moment and how you respond moving forward after that moment. Right now, responding in a negative way with negativity, calling them names, not even to their face, but to a dating coach, referring to all these other women as dummies, that's an emotional response, and it's a negative emotional response, and it's only going to negatively impact your interactions moving forward. Because if you come into the next interaction with a girl that you find attractive, that you're generally interested in and want to potentially date, if you come in with that negative energy, she's gonna feel that and it's gonna make her not want to be around you. All right, so negative energy is the first step that I would say, is get rid of that, because if you look like you're pissed off every time you look at a girl, yeah, obviously she's gonna avoid making eye contact. The second thing I would say is, if you're trying to wait for her to make eye contact with you before you actually give yourself the permission to go up and start the interaction, stop waiting and just go, right? If you see a girl that you happen to pass by in a public place or a grocery store or a nightclub or a friend of a friend, if you don't take your opportunity to create your own destiny by approaching her and starting the conversation your damn self without waiting for her to make eye contact with you, then frankly, you don't deserve that type of girl. Because right now, whether you realize it or not, all this thinking that you're doing about approaching these girls, all this trying to initiate eye contact with them, it's not doing anything for you. It's not moving the needle forward. All it's doing is really just stressing you out. And that stress is leading to your negative energy that you seem to be emanating. At the end of the day, you are 100% in control of yourself. And if you want to talk to these girls, you need to go up and start that interaction your damn self. But here's the key. If I need eye contact to talk to a girl, then how simple is it for me to walk up to a girl who hasn't made eye contact with me yet, gently tap her on the arm and go, excuse me, and then she turns her eyes. She looks at me. She makes eye contact with me. And then I open my damn mouth and say whatever the fuck I was gonna say because now I have her attention. That's how you approach a girl and get her to make eye contact with you. And that's how you start the conversation, man. And then from there, obviously be doing all the things to improve your game, to spark some flirty banter between you guys, and then move the interaction forward and lead with the full assumption of a positive response, which is very hard to do if you're in that negative headspace. Next question. Hey, Patrick, got a question for you that I've heard different opinions on. When it comes to flirting and approaching girls at work and at the gym, what is your advice? At work, it seems like in this day and age, it's so easy to get in trouble for sexually harassing someone or inappropriate conduct or whatever. At the gym, I've heard some girls say it's a bad idea to approach girls because they just go there to work out, not be hit on by guys. But I've heard other girls say it's okay. Hope to hear back from you. Thanks. Here's the thing, man. Everybody has their own opinions. And at the end of the day, all it is a fucking opinion. It's something that someone told themselves in their head about the way the world works. And here's the thing that I want you to understand. No matter what the right or wrong answer is, if you looked at the laws of physics and the laws of physics say this is the right answer, that's the only answer that I would trust. But until we have the laws of physics, an equation that shows you 100% this is the facts about the way this universe works, you must not approach girls at the gym. Until that happens, I would take everything that is said as a matter of someone's opinion. So here's what I would say. If you see the girl and you want to approach her, fucking approach her. I don't care if it's at work. I don't care if it's at the gym. I don't care if it's at a nightclub, and I don't care if it's on a sidewalk somewhere. We live a very short blip of a moment in time life where all of this stuff that we worry about on a day-to-day basis is not gonna matter in the future. 300 years from now, nobody's probably gonna know who you are. Name one person from the 1600s. So at the end of the day, if you see a girl that you're genuinely interested in, give yourself the permission to approach her. Because if you're waiting on external validation to tell you it is okay for you to approach this girl, and you're internally thinking, well, I heard this person say it's not okay. Imagine a scenario where that's the story you tell yourself in your head, and then you do go and approach that girl, but your frame that you're coming from is, I know this is wrong for me to approach you, but I kind of wanted to approach you. How do you think that's gonna affect your energy going into that conversation? Do you think it's gonna make her more or less likely to want to talk to you if you feel like you shouldn't be talking to her? I promise you it's going to make her less likely to want to talk to you because your energy is coming across as nervous. Your energy is coming across as like, I don't know if it's okay for me to do this. At the end of the day, all you can really do is decide what action you're going to take and then go into it with the full assumption of a positive response, because that's going to give you the conviction and the clarity in the moment to be fully present and actually be enjoying the fact that you approach this girl and actually feel good about the fact that you approach this girl, not regretting it, not kind of pulling your punches a little bit, because that at the end of the day is going to hurt your ability to make these girls want to continue talking to you when you approach them. Next question. Hey Patrick, big fan of yours, enjoyed the book. Thanks to you, I get to make out with a few girls at the bar every other weekend, which I've never had with any luck before. I fucking love that, man. Congrats. I just need to get better on how to move towards getting them outside of the bar and such. You inspire me so much, man. I just want to thank you. All right, man. So this is definitely based on the moment, but all I can really do is give you some of the fundamentals that I know will help you with this moving forward. If you're talking specifically going out at nighttime to a bar or a nightclub and you approach a girl, you're getting some makeouts, which is great, which means that you're genuinely able to get some attraction there, at least enough for her to want to make out with you in the moment. But if you're thinking, how do I start pulling these girls? That is a very common sticking point, going from attracting a girl, getting her to make out with you, to actually pulling her home with you or going back to her place, because that right there requires a whole new skill set. This one requires just making sure that there's some tension in the interaction. This one requires understanding how does tension play into her willingness to go home with you. This is a very common misconception. If a girl's willing to kiss you or make out with you, that does not mean she's going to be willing to have sex with you or go home with you. So what is the missing ingredient here? Honestly, the missing ingredient is getting her to know you as more than just a fun, exciting emotion. Feeling attraction for someone and then that leads to a makeout. That's a very like dopamine driven experience. That's like riding on a roller coaster, but nobody wants to stay on the roller coaster for 5 hours. At the end of the day, a roller coaster eventually becomes old, and the longer you stay on it, the more likely you are to feel a little bit nauseous and want to get off the roller coaster in the first place. So what's going to have to happen is you have to use that attraction that you built as the foundation for the rest of the interaction. attraction. And once you see it from that standpoint, you don't necessarily have to be building more attraction and spiking more tension. What you have to do is get her to know, like, and trust you as a human. Get her to see you as a real person rather than just a dopamine-driven emotional experience. A lot of times, I'm not even gonna make out with a girl hot and heavy in a place like that because that kind of takes away from the mystery, and it kind of wastes time in the sense that it doesn't give her the chance to talk to you, get to know you as a real fucking human rather than just some dude she made at a bar that one time. When you can bridge the gap between high-charged, tension-filled, attraction-based conversation to now she knows, likes, and trusts me as a human too, anywhere you want to lead this becomes very easy because now she's attracted to you, she knows, likes, and trusts you, and she's willing to follow your lead. So hopefully that helps, man. And like I said, if you're watching this video right now and you want to see your question answered in a future fucking A, it is Q&A Tuesday, then drop your question below or DM me on Instagram and we might see your question answered in a future video. That said, I'm gonna get out of here, man. Peace out.